Welcome to your Danville City Commission special call meeting today. Today is Tuesday, November the 12th, 2024, and it's 5:35. We've gotten beyond our technical difficulties today. Commissioner Peak spent the weekend in New York and came back and broke several chairs today, right? So we'd like to call this meeting to order. First on our agenda, we're going to have a prayer led by Commissioner Holland, and then we're going to ask all the veterans who are present today if they would stand and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. So, Ms. Holland?
Sure, let us pray. Lord, as we come together today to make decisions for our community, I can't help but be very thankful. Thankful for everyone in the room that works hard to keep Danville running smoothly. Especially thankful for our veterans that have bravely served here and overseas, and just pray that they will come home safely, those that are overseas. I'm thankful for our fellow neighbors and citizens and for the opportunity to serve and give back, and bless this meeting. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, ma'am. You all want to stand for the pledge? Are there any veterans present this evening with us?
You are.
Well, I don't want to count myself there. I thought there might be some other ones.
I am.
Oh, okay then. Well, you want to lead the pledge? We'll do it together. Come on, sir.
Yep.
All right, come on.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thank you, Commissioner Suri, for your service. I didn't know that. Next on our agenda is for the commission to approve the agenda, and I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you all. All those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
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 Those opposed, likewise. Thank you all. Next on the agenda, hear the public. At this stage in our meeting, we'll allow the public to speak to the commission, but at this time, it's only on items that are on our printed agenda. So if you'll raise your hand, be recognized, come up and tell us your name, and then we'll give you up to 3 minutes to speak to us. Anyone here to speak to the public, speak to the commission this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on. There will be another chance later on in the meeting for you to speak to the commission about items that are not on the agenda, and we always say we hear the commission, so that means we're just going to listen to you tonight. All right? Let's move along. The next item on our agenda is to have an update by our representatives from our hospital. So, Mr. Dan and your group, you want to come forward, please, sir?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all tonight. I'm Dan McKay. I'm the CEO and president of Ephraim McDowell. I have Nick Spoonmore with me. Nick is our vice president of strategic initiatives. We actually have our architects and designers with us tonight. We've been meeting with them all day, and they'll be here tomorrow. I'm just going to take maybe 2 minutes and give you a high-level overview, turn it over to Nick, who's leading up this project. We're in the very beginning stages of this project. It's a $120 million investment that we're going to make in the Danville campus. First, I want to say also that we've been working closely with Earl in the city, and probably over the last 3 or 4 years, Earl, since we started kicking off this project. So appreciate the cooperation and just the communication with the city so far. So thank you guys for everything y'all been great to work with. $120 million downtown. The plan is to basically expand and renovate the existing ER, but to do that, we have to take down the North Tower, which is the original hospital that was built in 1917. So we'll do that, but before we can take it down, we have to move the behavioral health unit, which is what we're doing right now. We're renovating a floor on the 5th floor in the Johnson Tower, or the center part of the campus. That's on the 5th floor. We're renovating that. We'll have that done by April. We'll get behavioral health out of there. And then we have purchased 2 buildings in downtown that will allow us to relocate about 60 people out of that north building. real excited about this project. You see the pictures and designs, it's gonna really look good, it's gonna look good in downtown. I'm really excited, I think you all will be excited. And the plan is, we're gonna have, we're in the very beginning stages. Right now, the first stage is parking lot. And we're about to complete that KSD lot that we purchased from you all probably 3 or 4 years ago. That's gonna gain about 250 parking spots. So we're doing that right now on 3rd Street, coming up and cleaning up 3rd Street. So when we get the parking lot, we want to get that done before it gets cold and freezes. But that's the first step, and then, like I said, we'll get into the North Tower and move the behavioral health, and then the office is out. But we're excited, and I want Nick to also, Nick has the details, of, he can give you more detail, and if I give you detail, I'll get it wrong. So, but Nick's been very involved, he's spearheading the project, and he can give you kind of more specific ideas of the timeline and things we're going to have. Nick?
Thank you, Dan. So, well, first, thank you all for having us here today. As Dan said, my name's Nick Spoonmore. Nice to see so many friendly and familiar faces. I've had a number of one-on-one meetings and group meetings with individuals in this room, and as Dan said, it's been a very collaborative process over the last 3 to 4 years. This project itself, kind of being more redundant of things that Dan said, but I'll also add on to a few items. $120 million project in our East McDowell Regional Medical Center campus. As we work with our board, we work with members of the city, specifically Earl and Josh, as well as our medical staff and associates. The number one thing that came out of those conversations was fix your parking. Usually set it about that tone as well. So as we work through this process, there were a number of key things that came out of these meetings. Parking was top of the list. Where's the main entrance of the hospital? We hear 3 different answers for that on each occasion. Sometimes we throw in a 4th one that even surprises myself. But then also, our ED volume continues to grow. We have 30,000 ED visits coming through there on an annual basis, and that grows year over year by about 2 to 5%. So with that growth, we need to take our ED, which is 16 beds, up to 24 beds. So it's going to be 8 additional beds, along with an 8-bed observation unit as well, just to help out with that patient flow that's going to be attached to the ED. As Dan said, to be able to achieve that, we do have to break down the North Tower building. Vacating that's going to be step 1, and then Dan touched on those items. With that ED expansion, we're then going to have 2 floors that go on top of that expansion. The second floor is going to be allowing us to do cath lab and interventional radiology lab space, and then also future surgical expansion space as well. So there'll be shelf components in that area. And again, this is driven by growth that we're seeing at EMRMC in these areas year over year. The third floor will be initially shelf space, with the intent to have our ICU, CCU move into that, and that would be a 24-bed unit as well. We're going to initially utilize that as conference rooms, education areas, just for shelf, as help us with this phasing and the transition of this project. But at a future date, that will become the ICU space. The other aspect of this is on top of that tower, we call it a critical care tower. Many of you all are familiar with where HealthTag is currently located. We will be relocating that onto our campus, and it will be on top of this critical care tower as well. Ultimately, many of you all are familiar with the saying, seconds matter when it comes to critical care. This is going to shave off minutes in terms of where you're currently located on the helipad to where it will be located in the future. Also, that's addressing the Walnut-facing portion of our campus. On the south end of our campus, Fig Alley facing, we're going to be creating parking on that backside as well that will provide 100 new parking spots, but it will also provide us a brand new front entrance. So we'll be routing patients off of 3rd Street and away from our ED, where many people feel that the main entrance is, to that south end of the campus and have a true, a visual, here is the front of the hospital. With that, there's some other internal movements that we have to do, as we talked about. Our registration is going to be moving from its current location closer to this new entrance. Retail pharmacy, which is currently on 3rd Street, is going to be moving down the hall, closer to the expanded ED, so it'll be accessible for patients that are coming out of the get to that retail pharmacy, but also patients that want to come through that main entrance, also accessible to them as well. So ultimately, as we're just making these large block moves as well as small moves, this is all driven by our volume is growing, our community needs are continuing to evolve, and we need to be good partners with the city and the county as well. So as we heard from really a multitude of individuals, that's where we started developing this plan. It's been something, again, as Dan said, multiple years in the works, and we intend for this to have about a 30 to 36 month window of time. 36 if you count the groundbreaking and the parking lot as the starting point. 30 months if you count for that South Tower phase 1 starting point. So probably summer of next year is when you're going to start seeing that phase 1 on the south end of campus really start moving. I said a lot. I probably said it pretty quickly, so I'm happy to answer any questions. Or defer to your gentlemen who are smarter than I am with our architects.
Well, thank you both for your presentations and for being in attendance. Commissioners, are there any questions or comments?
I was gonna, seems like when we met with you before that the ultimate goal is for that KSD property not to be a parking lot eventually. Is that still the, I get asked about that. They said, I told you it was gonna be a parking lot.
Absolutely, yeah. So as we go through this process, addressing the parking, just because we're disrupting the campus.
Right.
We had to do that on the front end. Long term, though, we do see that evolving into possibly a harmful facing space. We haven't determined if it's going to take the form of an office building or some other clinical needs, but we do see that evolving. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Nope, all good. So. I don't know if this one works any better for me or not. So we do see that evolving, though, into clinical space in the future.
Sure.
Please.
Okay.
To build on that, yeah, what Nick's referring to, that the KSD property right across the street, the hospital is called the South Tower, and that can go up another 4 stories. So, it's a parking lot now,
Right.
but it can be built on, and the next phase is we would more than likely build a medical office building on that property, bridge it over, and go up 4 stories on top of that South Tower. That South Tower allows us to go up 4 stories. I think, the Johnson Tower right now is 50 years old. That's where the patients are. Eventually, we'll have to move them down, get them out of there. And so the plan is, we'll get through this over the next 30 months, and we'll start developing the South Campus where.
Yeah, you need something else to think about.
Yeah,
You-
we
other
do.
things to
But that, we're going to, I don't think it's always going to be a parking lot. I think it's being used as a parking lot right now. And I know it's a sensitive matter, and we're sensitive to it. But I see it being used as a medical office building type and connecting it to the south wing
Okay.
and going up 4 stories.
Thank you. I'll pass that along.
Other comments or questions?
Well, for the public's sake, they weren't able to. There we go. Same problem you had. Public's sake, and they weren't able to go to your ribbon cutting. Where can they see a rendering? Can I see it on your website?
Yes, right now, we've actually started putting banners up at different points in the hospital with the intent that once we have, a little bit more depth in the rendering, that we'd be able to have it on the website as well. And then also having cameras set up that once we really get the construction going, that people can just log into the website, watch the construction in real time as well.
Very good.
We'd like to have, we're going to have videos. Our guys back here are going to put together a video, and we're going to come back and show you the video drawings. We're very, very beginning stages of this, so as we nail down this project, we want to come back and give you all updates and put it out there for the public to see how this project's coming together. So when you see the 3D and the, what do they call the thing that flies around, the drone images, it's impressive. So the drone images and the 3D and the video, it really tells the story much better than what we can. And we're going to have that to share with you all. We're going to conduct monthly tours when we start the project to keep the community involved, or we can tour it as much as you all want.
Wow,
Great.
great.
I
Other
would
questions
also-
or comments?
Yeah, I'd also comment, and this is a positive naturally, you guys are doing this because you've grown. Pat on the back. But in doing so, you will attract physicians. to the community as well. So I just want to say that because that's an important part of what's going on here.
And I just wanted to thank you for investing in downtown and choosing to be downtown. So thank you. And I'm excited to follow this as you move along. So thank you.
I appreciate you all coming tonight and giving the citizens an update because you hear it. What's going on? What's going on? What's going to be built over there? Why is it look dirt? You know, all the dirt's flying. So this will be helpful to people so that they can understand what's happening, and it's for the better, you know, of the hospital, obviously, and for the citizens. So I just appreciate y'all coming and giving us an update.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Next on our agenda is a downtown master plan update by Mr. Jim Walters.
If y'all leave, we talk about you. Just want you to know that.
Good evening, all. I have met with all of you already today, I think, as far as the commissioners and the mayor and many of you in the room, but I would like to just bring you up to date on what we're trying to accomplish at this point. The master plan was done as a community adventure finished up in 2020. It was actually about a year and a half, close to a year and a half in making, and it involved a lot of meetings and input from people individually and representing institutions and organizations in the city of Danville. So the things that are in the plan are a wide variety of ideas from a wide variety of people and organizations. Some of them have translated quite literally to immediate improvements. For example, the people that were so concerned about pedestrian safety and downtown walkability and solving a problem in that safety sphere. The project that was completed on Main has addressed that, and in many ways, I think has been a success and has been accepted so by the folks that live here, which is important. There are many other parts of the master plan that are going to require some work, and there are kind of reflecting back to certain aspects of how we put it together. We talked about it as being a synergy of many, many different things all working together. It's not just one thing. It's how one thing plays against another, creates more opportunity, and everything benefits, from housing to retail to institutions like the hospital, like Center, for troubled areas, for areas that have traffic problems, for areas that are vacant and have vacant lots or parking lots where there once were buildings in the downtown, creating a kind of a dense downtown area. So the master plan wanted to address those things and be a part of those things. So one aspect is that center core development, of which we had hoped to have a town center and a hotel. And so we are working with Center College on the hotel, and we are going to be asking folks to help us on a kind of a task force to put together the ideas for the town center. We have a major push to have housing downtown as a way to really create the dynamics of a financially successful downtown and a safe downtown. And that is another area of expression and public help that we need to help do that. And part of that is improvements to some of the roadways downtown, like Walnut Street and the extension of Church Street, and some other streets that require quieting of traffic to slow things down. And if we do those things, we will be in a position to attract development of different kinds of housing that the developers might propose on those new streets. And that requires another group of people to work on a task force for that. We have the issue of the courthouse and the center that has the actual courts in it, the court building, that needs to be remedied because it's in the old historic building, and that needs to be solved one way or another to get them the kind of contemporary space and, acceptable contemporary standards for courts and handling of the justice system. And we need people to help with that because we have to go to Frankfurt and make our case, and we have to find the right solution. And here again, the main thing is let's find a way to do it downtown. Let's don't default to something outside of the downtown. And so we need help with that. And there are other areas like that. And I guess my message is we're here to kind of kick the tires to see how we can find people to help be on these task forces. The city and the county will have people working on these things and facilitating these things, but they can't do all of the work. It has to be volunteer, citizen participation. And so we are looking for that initiative, looking for that energy, and looking for that intellect to help us solve these problems and move ahead. And there's a time to do this. We need to do today's business today. The more we delay or the more we don't proceed, the goal becomes much more difficult to achieve. And other things can happen to get in the way or to make it impossible in some cases to proceed. So let's get together. Let's work hard. We'll be trying to form some of these task forces and groups. The mayor and the county commissioners that we met with today seem pretty much excited about it, and all the other commissioners and city employees and city manager and others. It's going to take all of that and more. And I'm here because I love the city. I worked on the master plan for a long time. And since that, I've been staying in touch, trying to help Earl and J.H. Atkins and others to keep the ball rolling. And I'm doing so as a volunteer, and I'm not, I want to stay that way. So I'm willing to stay in touch, keep working with you, if you will work with me and help us do this. It's a great plan, and it's a doable plan, and we just need to get it done.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments? Okay. Well, thank you for your presence in our community the last couple of days, and hope the work continues. And Mr. Coffey, I think you wanted to say a few things.
No, I mean, we appreciate, and what Jim's talked about is there was a little bit of a perception that once we got done with the streetscape, that we were kind of reaching a finished point, and then there was this idea of the hotel. There are so many aspects of the things that the inspirations and opportunities identified in the downtown master plan, those are just ongoing. And so we've done a lot of work, and we appreciate the hospital. Nick's still here, and we appreciate their willingness to invite the city in as we deal with transportation issues around their campus, as they're leaning in towards construction. Josh and Nick have talked about impacts and how they address those, and that symbiotic approach to downtown and keeping the hospital active and dealing with the folks in Charleston Green that have spoken up about, well, what goes on next to us and how does that look? And so that is a long-term thing. It's not necessarily one project. We are active with the downtown master plan. What we'd like to communicate is that there's different layers to it. The next one is trying to find some spearheads to community leaders to kind of take the lead on a couple of these loose end projects. And what we've identified as loose ends or spearhead, there's a housing task force with the EDC. We would like that to grow more vibrant and there's this idea of the town center. We need to have a discussion. We need to take some site visits for that. And so there's all kinds of activities and work we need to do. And we just want to confirm for the commission that that is happening. Jim is guiding us and has been for many, many years. And we just want to make sure you have the floor to ask intent questions of us to provide a little bit of information that maybe is missing. Because it's hard to do all those things and communicate everything with knowledge. We don't always know what we need to communicate. We try, but.
Have we started task force?
No,
Forces
we're
yet?
starting the development of
Okay.
that idea now. Yeah.
And is the EDC involved and JJ Harris, or is this more different community members, or?
It is a little bit different community members, but we did meet with the EDC and JJ and others this morning for, at least an hour and a half. And all those aspects do play a role. And so I think that's important. And I think the EDC knows that. And I think JJ is well aware that he's got a lot of support to offer, and we appreciate his effort.
Are there other questions or comments?
I met with you for a very short time today. I know we've seen this when I first came on the commission, which was a year and a half ago. And I know you had the meetings with the public prior to that before it was approved. So I think it would be helpful just to keep it in the forefront of people, out there for people to see. I know it's on our website, but maybe we have another presentation for my purpose, because I didn't see the original, but for me, that would be helpful, and for others. I mean, you can read it, but I would like to see that. I think that would be good for the community too. So, it's a thought.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit in acknowledging the things that we've gotten accomplished. Updating, the document that, what the hospital path is. For example, and I'm picking on Nick just because he's here, but we can identify that in the plan as a step that is moving in a direction. There's some of that was idealized originally as the community input was received.
Because it was like 2020 when it was.
When it was, the original document was sealed up the
Right.
2020 year.
Just saying, a lot of people change, a
Yep.
lot of things change, so if you just keep it out there, maybe I think that would be good.
Yeah, we'll try to do that. We'll try to work that in.
Okay.
When we get to probably a point where we can add a little bit of texture to the idea of these task force and what we're hoping that they come back and guide us, staff on, or what they take a leadership role on as a group, we'll be able to, once we get some texture to that, we should present on that and help the community understand why they're there, why we've asked them to be involved as it relates to that document is going to be a good idea, I think.
There'd be like 5 task forces?
Probably 5 to, I think we could even see 6. But
I
like,
think
for
it would be
example,
like 5.
the EDC, to your question, the EDC has a housing task force. So what we'd like to do is kind of integrate them and dial them in specifically some of the things, some of the housing needs that's identified for the downtown area. How can they help lead that? And with the idea of a housing fund, it was out there, and there's a lot of conversations about that you probably don't remember, but just because it was long ago, yeah.
Thank you all. Any other comments or questions?
Well, I appreciate Mr. Walters coming today. Another note along the lines with Donna, I agree with her about doing presentations because this came out during COVID, and everybody just didn't know about it. Other than Miss Wilma posting on Facebook, nobody knew about it. It was all rumors. So unless you were like in the inner core. and new. So I appreciate the presentations today. It looks like the open house is pretty open. And thank you for sharing this more.
I guess we need to remind ourselves that today was sort of a reboot. We were restarting, and that was the communications that should have been out there, is that we wanted to start with small identifiable groups, and Mr. Walters has been here all day today doing some of that, and we'll do some of that again tomorrow. And then from that, staff and the commission and others will move forward. It has been setting very quietly, but our attempt for these last couple of days, starting last night, we're trying to reboot this thing and get people out to where more and more citizens know about the event, this task. We're going to reemphasize that it's on all of our social media outlets, and we have copies that can be, well, no, we don't. Use our social media outlets to get copies to our citizens if they so desire. And when it doesn't have social media outlets, you probably could make contact at City Hall and ask for a copy of it. But it's this is a reboot, a restart to get us re-energized. And the meeting this afternoon with county officials was just that, very positive and very exciting. And the fact that the city and county are going to work on some activities in this plan together was a good feel for me today. So if you don't know anything about this, go to our social media sites, take a look at it, send your questions to the city commissioners, not the mayor, but to the city commissioners, and we'll move this thing forward. Okay? So let's move along. Thank you, Mr. Walters, for your presence.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is approval of our minutes of the previous meeting, and the chair would like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes from October 28th, 2024, as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additions, corrections, deletions? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, likewise, motion carries. Next item is Resolution 2024-11-1201, Plan and Zoning Goals and Objectives. Michaela's here. You want to say anything before we do this? Feel real.
Unless you want me to.
Well, let's see if there's a motion. Is there a motion from the commission to
I move
approve
for
resolution?
approval of Resolution 2024-11-1201.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. And these are being posted on the planning and zoning website?
Yes, these are on the planning and zoning website, and I did email Melanie. I'm not sure if they're on the city's website. So they are on the homepage of the city's website as well. All right.
Any other comments or questions? And those who don't have social media to get these things, there are always copies available here at City Hall.
Yes.
All right? All right, so those in favor of Resolution 24-11-1201, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, thank you all. Motion carries. Next item is second reading of ordinance 2042, compensation classification amendment. Madam Clerk, you want to read the ordinance for us, please, ma'am?
This is the second reading of ordinance number 2042, an ordinance amending CDO 2-96 pertaining to the classification plan, compensation plan, and policies and procedures for city personnel.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Ward, any brief comments?
No, Mayor, I just think we covered it at the last meeting, unless you have any questions for staff.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 2042.
thank you, ma'am.
Second.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Caudle,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Peak,
Yes.
Mayor Atkins,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Holland,
Yes.
Commissioner Saris.
Yes.
Next item on our agenda is a report from our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. We have a fairly light update, but we would like to point out some important dates. The 14th is a gallery hop, 4:30, 7:30. The 25th is the next city commission meeting. The 28th, of course, is Thanksgiving. City Hall is closed for Thanksgiving as a reminder. The tree lighting is the 29th at 6:30 PM. The 7th is the Danville Small Town Christmas Festival. It begins at noon to 5 PM. The parade will start about 6 PM. The 9th will be a commission meeting, and then we need to make a decision, and we'll ask you to give us a little bit of a direction tonight on whether or not you want to have a commission meeting December the 23rd. Do y'all want to, traditionally, we cancel the second
Party night,
meeting in
isn't it?
December, and is that, if your all's mindset is that, then we need to accommodate that at the next meeting.
I heard the staff was presenting a party on that second December date for the commission. Well, they got real quiet, didn't they?
So if you all want, then we'll make sure that's done.
With the party?
For the 23rd.
Oh.
Yeah.
And as last year, we'll probably forego that, but if we certainly need to have a special call meeting, we could do that if there's something
Yeah.
important comes up.
So then I would ask, do you all have any questions specific for me that I need to provide some follow-up on that I've missed? I've tried to look at my notes, and I really didn't want to consume the whole meeting with an update on anything
Yeah.
necessarily.
Well, I think some things, congratulations to these four who have been reelected, and we need to set a date. They have to be officially sworn back in sometime soon, right? That was the party I was referring to, but that's all right. And then, is it appropriate for us to discuss meeting date, time, and location for the incoming commission? When is that appropriate to discuss?
We normally do that later on. Yeah.
Yeah, we typically do that at the first meeting of the following year to allow the newly seated commission, which will be comprised of the same members, but you do that typically at your first meeting.
Okay. I was trying to get it out of the way, but.
Earl, would you like to make, and you make this short if you would, but facility use agreement with the school districts is always there. How are we coming?
Well, the format of that is a little different as we continue to have dialogue about it. I think that it's trending more towards adding context to the committee and enabling the schools to be more of a joint operations partner with Parks and Recreation, so we're trying to look at what that agreement would look like. Because really, their customers are the same customers that's using Parks and Rec too. And so we want to, by making that some sort of representation on there where we can demand more of each other, we think ultimately the product might be better. So we're looking into that as a way to take it a step farther than just a facility use agreement, right? And add a little bit additional layering to it. That's where our mind went as we continue to have dialogue, which is a little bit more robust than just saying you're leasing something or we mutually agree to share facilities. We got to worry about programming also, right? Like we have to worry about, and so we want to make sure for us to have our programming full, our offerings full, integrating that with needs out of the school is important, right? Like we've talked about after-school programming at Jenny Rogers, for example. Well, we want to create that relationships where we can tailor that more specific to really what we're trying to accomplish together. We're trying to create that opportunity to talk about it together using these agreements and what do they need to look like to accomplish that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's great. I just wanted to know, and I think that as much as our attorney likes contracts, and they're great, a contract that looks more like a partnership is probably better for both sides.
Yeah.
Other comments?
But this would be with both school districts, right?
Be for all school districts,
Right.
yeah. And frankly, there's nothing, so the city has a joint operations agreement with the county.
Right.
We need to go have that conversation with Junction City in the same way we're talking about with the schools. And we, so maybe we need to carry that a little bit further too. And so we're thinking about all those things and trying to figure out what this needs to look like to accomplish more and really set us up for more success, additional success beyond what we're just immediately thinking of.
Well, like with Parks and Rec, they're doing, they're accepting, basketball, cheerleading, all the signups, and what I've heard is there's more children that are signed up.
Yep.
So
It's
we
growing.
were, there was not enough room last year, so maybe some of the other schools in the district could open up spaces.
So we want to create a way to add students to those programs, but also when we do that, like you're saying, we want to make it easy to go say, okay, this is being programmed at this school or at this gym or this park. And so we're trying to think through that and not make it about one solitary issue. We want to make it more of a true partnership where when we're talking about facilities, we kind of think about that collectively. Other communities do that. Other communities, Taylor County is their Parks and Rec expansion that they're doing. So I was trying to think of others. We saw Bardstown flying around their multipurpose building. Taylor County is adding their Parks and Rec at the high school entirely, behind the high school. So so the bottom line is, they're the same customer. The student is also our Parks and Rec participant. And so we want to make sure we do as good a job as we can collectively and include as many people we can in that process.
Can you try to get that resolved before the new commission takes over?
A lot of times you all see these issues that you may see as repetitive on the city manager's report, but they're there because they've been year-long efforts and they are aspirational goals. And so what you see, they're meant to be an indication of what staff is working towards and not a list of items that are merely unattended to. So you have to realize when they are there have been hours of strategic conversations, planning, involvement of various needed individuals who also go through job changes, reclassifications, re-elected boards. So there's a lot of re-educating on the conversation. And then as different leaders are in different school systems with different elected officials, then conversations have to restart. So I don't want you to misinterpret the repetitive nature of an item on the city manager report as a lack of action on behalf of staff, because quite the contrary. It's that these are stated goals that are being actively sought to completion, and they are not as easy as drafting a contract and getting it signed and saying pay $10 and you get admittance. These are aspirational goals that will be accomplished, but take an inordinate amount of time. And so, yes, they will continue to be on the city manager report, and we would love to have it done by the end of the year. We would have loved to have had it 2 years ago. But circumstances and facts haven't allowed that to come to fruition. It will be achieved, and it may look different than it is even presented on the report tonight. But what we're seeking is a collaborative effort to resolve a community-wide solution to Parks and Recreation involvement, both on a capital front and on a programming front, which is not a simple document to create, gain consensus with, and then move ahead.
Do we have agreements signed with anybody right now, like for the use of the schools? Does Parks and Rec, did they do that like a long time ago, or we just all verbal agreements that they use that we use it for practices and things?
We've signed some things for them, and then other times we've currently today, I don't think we have anything for this winter yet, honestly, either way.
But I think they have to ask for it and ask permission and all of that.
We have to ask them
Right.
to use their, so what we're trying to do is simplify that a little bit also.
And in the tennis courts, if they use it, they obviously have to ask or just use it?
They schedule it with
Okay.
Tommy. They go through Tommy for that. Right. And I was aware that there were some complaints, thanks for pointing that out today, that there were some some complaints about the tennis courts, and we'll look into that. Yeah.
Hearing no other, let's move on then. We're at that point in our agenda where we hear the public for a second time tonight, and the public can approach us to talk about things that are on our agenda, or, things that are not on our agenda. Anyone? Yes, ma'am, we'll step into the mic and identify yourself.
I'm Jennifer Kirchner, citizen of Danville, Boyle County, and had to come up and say hi to everybody for old time's sake. But mostly what I wanted to say was, as somebody who's worked on the downtown master plan for years and really believes in it, I think that we all think often about what role government plays in our lives, and not to get too philosophical on you, but what I think the city is doing here with this downtown master plan is setting the table. And you're creating an environment where the public sector can come in and we can optimize every square inch of our community, whether it be with additional housing, additional revenue, additional tax money. So I compliment the city on the leadership that you've taken in this downtown master plan. It's not easy. I don't think you could ever communicate enough about it. And it's very complicated. So just figuring out how to talk about it is very hard. But I work with a lot of these guys on other things, and city staff is working incredibly hard to make it right and keep all of the balls in the air at all the same time. And I, for one thing, downtown looks amazing. And I also will say I like sitting in traffic because there's so much going on. There were times where Saturday mornings there was nobody downtown. I'm thrilled that I can't find a parking spot. So thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Would you mind getting up and just saying that again, just for now?
Anytime.
Seeing that no one else desiring to speak to us, commissioner comments? You've had enough? You've had enough? Wow.
I just want to say congratulations to everybody. And, there's a lot going on in Danville, so if you look at our town, there's a lot that's happening. There's good things happening, thanks to staff and all that they do. So I just want to say thanks to everybody, and thanks, for the citizens for voting and being a big part and bringing us back together in January.
29th of November, you all have it on your calendars? 6:30, the
what?
tree lighting. They say it's the mayor's tree lighting ceremony, but it's really the commissioner's tree lighting ceremony, so I'm sure you all include that. And on the 7th of December is the Christmas parade. You all know that's another very special day, so be sure you all show up for that. That starts at 6 o'clock, but the afternoon, the events start at noon downtown, right? So I want to invite you all to that, but especially at 6 o'clock for the parade. I think you all know why without me having to say that out loud, right?
Yep, and Earl mentioned the gallery hop, but,
Okay.
it's 4:30 to 7:30 this Thursday.
Yeah, this Thursday.
And all the businesses stay open later. And we like the free food. Nina Kirkland usually has shrimp. But anyway, you can also Christmas shop early.
Yes.
And it's just a great opportunity to buy some art and Christmas shop early too, so.
All right. Other comments? Oh, okay. Let's move right along then. Payment of the bills. Chair would entertain a motion to pay the bills as presented. Going once.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $1,732,441.28.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
I second because I like the number 28.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions or comments about the bills? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying the bills, say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries. Next item is Resolution 2411-1202, tank inspection, RFP award. Mr. Carrier.
Thank you, Mayor. This agenda item is related to an advertisement that the city recently put out for public, requesting qualified individuals to provide field inspection services and contract administration for the repainting of the 3 million gallon tank at Tower Hill, there behind Chick-fil-A. The services include surface prep, repairs, repainting work on the inside and outside of the tank. And we got one proposal from Wet or Dry Tank Inspection Services for $65,428. And that's a sign.
Motion to adjourn.
I think it means it was approved.
Just hold it up to your face.
I'm good myself. I'm good. See, it's Tuesday night, not Monday night, right? There we go.
Thank
Oh, I
you.
actually went out there and did it, right?
So, back to what I was saying, we got one proposal for $65,428, which is a little over 5.5% less than typical such contractual costs, which is good. That's to the tune of about a $33,000 savings for the city. So it's our recommendations, the project be awarded to Wet or Dry Tank Inspection Services.
Good news. I move to accept resolution number 2024-11-1202.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, guys. Any questions?
Yeah, are we gonna paint something cool on it?
Yeah,
Like-
actually, we've got some renderings that
Okay.
we've shown, and it's actually going to be really, really cool.
They've been in your
Yeah,
packet.
like Versailles is so cool. We could do something cool up there.
They've been in your packet before.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
multiple times, yeah. I apologize if
don't
you,
remember it.
if we didn't highlight that enough. But it's going to have the Danville KY on it, and then it's going to have the image of knobs around the bottom, and just trying to really not necessarily bring too much attention to it because it's big.
Right.
But you do want to clean it up, and so our goal is to clean up the vegetation that's grown up over time around the fence. We want to, clean that area up, but that carries on down to the bypass too. So we're trying to work with the state on the right-of-way fence and trying to get that whole corner cleaned up. But the tank, yes, we'll send that back out to you in an email. We've sent that a couple times. We even had it on the screen one time, so I apologize if we didn't emphasize that enough.
Other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving resolution 2024-11-1202, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, likewise, motion carries. Next item is resolution 2024-11-1203. Mr. Morgan.
Yes, thank you all. In your package, it's been a couple of years, and due to some issues that I won't throw it completely at Marilla, but they had some employee issues, things like that. Nothing major, but things that dragged out them getting some paperwork to us that we weren't even aware that we needed to do. And you have a $0 change order in your packet that it reconciles the direct purchase order portion of the contract. See, on that project, we purchased materials directly, so we didn't have to pay sales tax on those materials. And they had to reconcile some of those quantities at the end of the project, and they never submitted the paperwork to do that. They need to do that to be able to pay off their vendors to finish the project out. So that's why you have a $0 change order in your packet for Barilla Construction on the Central Fire Station, and we recommend approval.
Is there a motion to approve the change order valued at $0?
Yep, I'll approve resolution 2024-11-1203.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. Since it's zero, there should be no questions, right? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
As a matter of record, that does clean up their bonding also, so that clears their bond for them.
Okay. That was kind of weird, wasn't it? Okay, next item is Chief Simpson, Fire Department update.
Mayor, Commissioners, how you guys doing today?
All right.
Just want to give a little update on fire department activities, what's been going on. It's been a busy year. We've had 2,788 calls for service year to date. Last year, we had 2,709 at this time. That's a 28 call volume up. That's only a 1% change, so not much of a change from last year. October was a really busy month for us. We had 330 calls in October. It's one of the highest ones we've had, so had some challenges with calls. Most of our calls are EMS, 54% of our emergency medical calls, 42% are fire, and then 4% are other, could be alarm drops, things of that nature. We've had 99 fire incidents. 47 of those were cooking involved. 9 car fires and 4 structure fires this year so far. Structure fires are down. That's what we want. That's really a good trend. That's a trend that's going on nationally as well. So Danville's doing a really good job with codes and also with fire prevention. So we need to keep that moving forward, and everybody's doing a really good job with it. Also, the structure fires, they're low frequency and they're high risk. So whenever we have a structure fire involved, it's a very high risk operation. And that's what we want to keep from. So doing a good job with that. Training, we had 265 hours above. That's really good. Our 265 hours was our ISO rating. So our average this year was about 303. So everybody's doing a really good job of training. We sent 6 staff members to the Maverick Machine and Vehicle Extrication Pro Board in Dayton, Ohio. They received that certification. 1 to Hazmat Tech in Anniston, Alabama, and 3 to the Cobra Chemical Ordnance Bioradiological in Anniston, Alabama as well. And they have about 2,500 people go through that class a year. So it's really, really nice Center of Domestic Preparedness. So got some really high-trained officers, high-trained staff, and they're doing a really good job. From a safety standpoint of it, the fire marshal's office, they did 29 food truck inspections, and we had 175 CPR, public corporate contacts. So 175 is a really good number for CPR for the community. Try to do a little bit more than that next year. Smoke detector, we've installed 62 up to date, and they just installed 11 batteries out in McDowell Estates today. So they've done a really good job with that. Station tour, we have 42 station tours. We had 600 contacts with the public or students. That's a great number for the public to come through the station. Get public education, also see the fire trucks, and kids sometimes get sprayed water, and that's also pretty enjoyable for them as well. November 15th, we're going to have 2 staff members graduate from the Kentucky Fire Academy. That's Grant Allmiller and Connor Johnson. That'll be our 4th staff members to graduate from that academy. Saves us a lot of money and a lot of time, so it's really nice. The only thing they're going to have to get now would be their EMT. We can send them out for that. So we're really proud of those 2 young men, and we'll be traveling down on November 15th to watch them graduate. Engine 19 update. Hopefully, we're going to get Engine 19 in December. We had 3 staff members go to South Dakota last month to give the inspection. It's on track. Hopefully, we'll get it sometime in December, Lee. I know we've been talking about this for a long time. Yeah, right now, it takes about 3 years to get an engine. So we're scheduled to get another one, or talk about getting one in 2028. So if you want to plan for it, we're going to have to plan ahead pretty much. Also, the cost of the engines have gone up. You know, they're going to be over $1 million by 2028. Just want to plant that seed and let you guys know it's a tough number, but they're going to continue to rise. Start saving right now. Yeah. And we keep all of our old engines. We don't do anything with them. We don't sell them anymore, get rid of them, surplus them. We keep them for storage for maybe a 3rd station down the road, which we need desperately, and just the cost, maybe we refurb them, save some money for the city, so be a little more cost effective. Can't read my own writing here. Station 2, the windows have been completed, the flooring has been installed, and the gutters have been fixed at Station 2. They're doing a little painting on the inside, but it looks phenomenal. It looks fantastic. Really renovated it. Scott Lawson, our fire marshal, did a really good job as project manager on that. He's kind of been after him a little bit, but it looks good. If you get an opportunity, please go out and take a look at that. Looks really nice. Some of the challenges we're going to have, of course, is going to be staffing over the next year or so. We're going to have some retirements probably, and our call volume now requires just more staffing. We have 9 people on shift. Take somebody on vacation, someone calls in sick. We're back down to 7 people for the whole entire city again. So it's going to have to be on the forefront of the minds of the commission and city manager and myself. We're going to have to talk about how we're going to address our staffing issues. We just need more staff. Our call volume right now, 3,000 calls a year, so we need to talk about that. And that's basically about all I have today. Everybody's doing a great job, and I really appreciate the commission and city manager and human resources and our staff.
Thank you for that update. Commissioners, any questions or comments?
I'd like to ask a question. We have some narrow streets in this town. Do you ever have difficulty getting to where you need to get because of parked cars?
We do, and that's good, positive growth, and I'm looking for the future. That's something we talk about with the city engineer. And one of our main things right now are overgrown trees. They grow over the roadway, so we have to really keep that in check.
Yeah.
Because they'll scratch our engines up, and we don't want to do that, so. There are some very narrow streets. We have our new truck coming in, engine 19, has a very large bumper, so we're going to have to be really careful on some of the
Yeah.
streets. Wilderness Road's a small street, there's lots, also people park on different sides of the street as well.
That's what I was gonna say.
I could see it because I've lived
Park on
in
both
a couple of neighborhoods with that. But it just brings back a discussion that I hope will carry forward in 2025, and that's maybe alternate side street parking, so you always have a wider venue instead of both sides.
We constantly talk about safety with our staff when they're driving. Of course, when you're going emergency, it's a very tough job, so you got to be really careful. The trucks weigh 50,000 pounds. Ladder truck weighs 80,000 pounds, so you got a lot of responsibility in your hands.
Today I saw your truck and it reminded me, because I live in McDowell Estates, but if there was two cars parked, one on either side, you guys wouldn't have got in there.
Yes, we have issue with that area. It's one of our areas of issues, so we constantly are looking at it. Just want the public to know, hey, park where you need to park at, because you may have an emergency in your house someday. So just be careful.
I appreciate you coming. I like hearing from the departments, other than budget time. I liked hearing from you throughout the year. So,
We have a wonderful staff, and everybody's doing a really good job,
yeah,
and looking forward to
thanks for putting them
the
on the
holidays.
agenda. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. That's the end of our printed agenda, but there, under legal, there's a rumor that there's a need for an executive session. Is that
Yes,
just a
for
rumor?
personnel, short.
For personnel? Okay.
Short,
So,
with the short chair.
died for lack of a motion?
Oh. I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matter pursuant to KRS 61-810-1F.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
Nothing else, right?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor Commissioner. Staff is recommending the hiring of Rick Sellers to the position of police officer.
Thank you, sir. Is there a
So
motion?
moved.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. All those in favor say aye.
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 Congratulations.
Staff is recommending the hiring of Eric Whitmore to the position of firefighter.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Go ahead.
I'll second it.
Thank you, ma'am. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. You have one more, sir?
Yes, staff is recommending the reclassification of Andy Tompkins to the position of program administrator.
Is there a motion?
I motion to move forward with that.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No, I'm kidding.
Chair would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those